This is not a time to throw up our hands. This is a time to roll up our sleeves.
Right now, Kamala Harris concedes the race for the White House as America sends Donald Trump back to Washington for 4 more years.
Also, Democrat Senator Tammy Baldwin survives the challenge of Republican Eric Hovde. A closer look at the margin of victory, giving her a 3rd term in the U.S. Senate.
And we're following a day of philanthropy. Our students at Edgewood High School are doing their part to make a difference in their community on this day of giving. You're watching News 3 Now at 5. It is the day after the election. Millions of people are cheering the end of an endless barrage of political texts, phone calls, emails, visits to their homes, and other methods of advertising.
Today, we're breaking down the results from the election with reporter Braden Ross looking at the local level, and our political reporter Will Keneally offers us expert feedback on the outcome.
And you're taking a live look right now at the White House in Washington. Former President Trump now is president-elect and will take up residency in the White House again in 75 days. The call for Pennsylvania was made at roughly 4 this morning, essentially locking in the election for Trump. The balance of the House still remains uncertain as Republicans have taken back the United States Senate.
President-elect Trump is the first president in over 120 years to lose the White House and then come back to win it again.
That's right. The only other president in American history to do so was Grover Cleveland back in 1892. And earlier today, Vice President Harris called Trump to congratulate him. And in that call, the vice president discussed the importance of a peaceful transfer of power. Just an hour ago, she gave her concession speech at her alma mater, Howard University in Washington, D.C.
Look, I am so proud of the race we ran and the way we ran it. And the way we ran it. Over the 107 days of this campaign, we have been intentional about building community and building coalitions, bringing people together from every walk of life and background, united by love of country, with enthusiasm and joy in our fight for America's future.
And in his victory speech, President-elect Trump said that he would lead by a simple motto: promises kept.
We're going to make this so great. It's the greatest country and potentially the greatest country in the world by far. And right now, we're going to just work very hard to get all of that back. We're going to make it the best it's ever been. We can do that. If we had to wait longer, I don't know. It was going bad, and it was going bad fast.
The only states yet to be called, Nevada, Arizona, which are leaning to Donald Trump.
One race that went on into the night that was too close to call was District 3 in the U.S. House. Incumbent Derek Van Orden held on to his seat against challenger Rebecca Cook, inching Republicans closer to a majority in both bodies of Congress.
And no surprise, the Democratic incumbent Mark Pocan of Madison holding onto his seat in District 2 and the area surrounding Madison against his Republican challenger Eric Olson. Pocan won by a nearly 3-to-1 vote margin.
Republican incumbent Congressman Brian Stile holds on to his seat against Democratic challenger Peter Barca.
Another tightly watched race, of course, has been called in the United States Senate, and Democratic Senator Tammy Baldwin will remain in office for another 4-year term, 6-year term, rather.
Our Braden Ross joins us now with more. Braden?
Yeah, we just learned that Tammy Baldwin will give her victory speech here in Madison tomorrow, but we do have a statement for her reacting to this win today. It reads in part, quote, "I am proud to head back to the Senate as we embrace our state motto forward and keep fighting for the workers, farmers, and families that make our state great. From the bottom of my heart, it is an honor to serve the people of Wisconsin." Now, we have not heard from Hovde since this race was called this afternoon. This morning, he released a statement blaming part of his loss on the Libertarian candidate in the race for taking votes that could have gone to him. Hovde is still within the margin required for a recount, so he can decide to pay for one if he wants to.
All right, Braden, thank you. Let's get a look now at your first warn forecast. Meteorologist Blaze Keller out on the weather patio. Blaze?
And we are going to be dealing with some cloudy conditions here as we look to end your Wednesday, but good news, we do see some more sunshine, not only for your Thursday, but especially to your Friday. But here's a current look at conditions across southern Wisconsin, kind of hanging right around 46, 47 degrees for most of us. 50, though, in Beloit, 47 Madison. Madison, and for really the rest of Dane County, probably 48 or 46 degrees, 46 in Evansville, and 47 in Fenimore. Let's jump ahead to the weekend, because that's when our first chance for rain arrives, starting later Saturday afternoon into the evening hours, overnight, and then continuing into your Sunday as well. This is not going to be a heavy rain, probably an additional maybe 1/10 of an inch to a 1/2 an inch at best, but that's going to add and get us closer to our normal for November. We typically average about 2 inches, just over 2 inches of rain in a normal November, and over the last, I would say, couple of days here from the 3rd through the 5th, we've accumulated nearly 1.25 inches of rain. So we only need about a 1/2 an inch of rain more, slightly more than that, to get to that average, and we will probably do that here over the next 10 days, because we got another chance for rain as we look ahead to next week, and we'll talk about that in the full forecast.
All right, Blaze, thanks. We'll see you soon. The communities of Fitchburg, Madison, and Monona all asked voters to approve levy increases on last night's ballot.
Our Ellie La Liberté is here to break down the results and what it means for residents. Ellie?
Yeah, Eric, Susan, officials from all 3 municipalities say they had no other option but to ask residents for help maintaining city services. Madison and Monona voters helped pass the referenda, while in Fitchburg, the request was denied.
Of alternatives.
Madison, Monona, and Fitchburg all asked voters for more money.
They really have 3 major sources of revenue. One is the property tax, 2 is state aid, and 3, to a much lesser extent, federal aid. The state aid has not kept up with spending increases.
Fitchburg voters blocked a $3.6 million tax levy increase. It would have cost the average homeowner an additional $25 a month. In a statement, Mayor Julia Arata-Frata said, quote, "In light of the vote, the Common Council and I will thoughtfully re-examine our options to address Fitchburg's staffing, transit, and safety needs. We'll explore alternative funding avenues to sustain the quality services our community relies on." Monona residents approved a roughly $3 million referendum. It will increase taxes for the median value home by $713 a year. The money will go towards competitive staff salaries and city costs to keep up with increasing prices.
But I think when you can't even do something like keep up with what inflation costs are, it's just creating an undue hardship on local elected officials and folks to try to be able to keep up with their own expenses.
In Madison, voters approved their $22 million referendum. Their approval means the average Madisonian will see a $230 a year increase on property taxes. That's on top of the $83 state allowed levy limit. It also means city services like library programming, metro bus services, and brush collection are not at risk of being cut. Madison Mayor Satya Rhodes Conway now saying she wants to work with the state to change funding formulas.
I'm absolutely committed to doing the work with the state legislature to find a solution, not just for Madison, but for cities all across the state of Wisconsin who need the legislature to invest in them.
Both Madison and Monona will now work to approve their final budget and see where these additional funds will go.
All right, Ellie, thank you. In a wide margin, Wisconsinites voted yes on the constitutional questions regarding non-citizen voting in Wisconsin, though no local governments in Wisconsin even allow non-citizens to vote in local elections. The question, in short, affirmed the established laws that barred non-citizens from voting in the state.
By a larger margin, Madison voters said yes to $500 million for new buildings and improvements to existing schools in the Madison School District.
And the school operational referendum to exceed levy limits for the Madison School District was also strongly approved by voters. In a statement from the district, school officials said, quote, "We understand the financial challenges that many of us face and know that this was not a light decision," adding, quote, "Your support is an investment in our students, our community, and public education, and we are very grateful to you." Today is an annual Giving Day, a day centered around philanthropy. The Greek origin of the word philanthropy means love of humanity. The one local high school says its efforts on this day are growing. Edgewood High School of the Sacred Heart participating in a 24-hour fundraiser to raise money for their school's annual fund. Community members can get involved in participation challenges, matching opportunities, and surprises through the day to raise money for things like National Merit Scholarships, sports funding, and arts funding.
Oh, I just want to say, as president of Edgewood High School, what gets me out of bed and really excited to be at work every day, it's our students and our faculty and staff. The community is just quite amazing, and it's just a joy to be here, quite honestly. And Giving Day is how we express our love for that, and that's why it's important to give.
And if you'd like to donate, head to edgewoodhs.org. Meteorologist Blaise Keller returns next. A complete look at our firstborn forecast.
And we make time for kids with SSM Health as we head into cold and flu season. Why doctors say it's important to provide our children with an extra layer of defense.
On Wall Street, the Dow sees the largest post-election day advance in a century, up 1,508 points. The Nasdaq up 544. S&P 500 adds 146. And we'll be right back.
You're watching News 3 Now, brought to you by Cardinal Heating and Air Conditioning.
I can honestly say that Cardinal has never let me down.
I definitely recommend Cardinal Heating and Air Conditioning because of the professionalism.
Cardinal will always be my first call for anything that Cardinal does.
I think we're going to continue to use Cardinal for a long time.
Are record high energy costs putting a squeeze on your fixed or limited incomes? While you haven't asked for it, the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund and your local energy assistance providers are here to help. No Wisconsin resident should ever have to face the challenge of living without heat or power or face homelessness. For a hand up, apply today.
Score the lowest prices of the year right now at Brothers Main's Black Friday sale. You won't find lower prices anywhere, and enjoy our free delivery. Shop family-owned Brothers Main's low price guarantee on brands like Whirlpool, Maytag, KitchenAid, and Amana. Feel like family. Brothers Main.
Don't miss the 35th Annual Winter Art Fair Off the Square, November 9th and 10th at the Monona Terrace Convention Center, featuring over 100 Wisconsin exhibitors with a wonderful selection of ceramics, paintings, glass art, wood, jewelry, and much more. Place your bids at our silent auction Saturday only. Children will enjoy the Young Collector's Corner. Buy local for the holidays. The Winter Art Fair Off the Square. Put it on your calendar today.
I've been a motorcyclist for a little over 20 years now. I always wanted to have a motorcycle my whole life, and dashing helps me support that hobby. I love the flexibility of dashing. I love the connections I make. Dashing lets me do what I want, when I want. I'm my own boss now. If dashers can maintain their freedom, flexibility, and independence, and have access to benefits, that would really be the best of both worlds. Portable benefits would help me cover medical costs, dental, vision. That would be fantastic.
Like a bowl of cherries, life in Attic Angel is healthy and sweet. Our independent and assisted living lifestyles include newly renovated apartments, engaging social activities, and wellness support that is tailored to you. As time marches on, we promote the idea that life can always be a bowl of cherries. Attic Angel, the house that angels built.
News 3 Now, covering election 2024 every step of the way.
Things are running pretty smoothly. They've had a pretty steady stream of voters.
Talking to you, the people.
We're going to be here until polls close.
And covering the issues that matter right here.
This is going to be where to watch tonight in that Senate race.
I am ready to roll up my sleeves and get to work for our community.
We're going to carry Wisconsin for Trump, and so it's a great night for me as a Republican.
3 for the people, only on News 3 Now, moving forward. You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
We're entering the final months of the year, and that means we could see an increase in respiratory illnesses.
And in this week's Time for Kids story with SSM Health, our Jalen Banks joins us with the importance of protecting our kids during this cold and flu and COVID season.
Susan and Eric, we are in the middle of the Burr months, November, December, when it's colder and leads to an increase in respiratory illnesses. So I caught up with one doctor on why it's important to get our little ones protected from the flu and COVID. This time of the year, we'll start hearing these. And more than likely an increase in flu and COVID cases in classrooms, but there is a way to lower those chances for our kids.
I think it's really important because in the end, the one thing we can do when you do get vaccines is make it so that the illness is not as bad if they do get it. I mean, kids still have to get hospitalized sometimes for things like flu and COVID. And the best thing to do, the best way to avoid that kind of stuff is by getting your vaccine.
And Dr. Harkin says concerns about receiving both vaccines all at once is safe.
I understand people having that nervousness, but there's really nothing to that. I think it's absolutely fine to get them both at the same time. And again, your body's going to build up immunity.
According to the Department of Health Services, we have seen a steady decrease in percentages of kids 5 to 17 and 0 to 4 not receiving their COVID and flu vaccines.
And the honest truth is it's probably gone down a little bit. And it's just because people are not as scared anymore as they were in the past. I think it's really important, still imperative to say, hey, this is really important. Vaccines do make a difference. And, you know, every clinic in Madison, definitely SSM has actually got vaccine clinics where you can come in and nurses are waiting to go ahead and give people their shots. And really it's just basically giving a call ahead and come on in and get your shot.
And for more stories in our Time for Kids series with SSM Health, go to our website, channel3000.com/timeforkids.
Time now for a look at your First Warn forecast, and meteorologist Blaze Keller has the details. Blaze?
And we are tracking a couple chances for rain here as we move over the next 10 days. The first one is going to arrive this weekend after we clear out the clouds over your Thursday and further into your Friday. Could also wake up to some fog on Friday because those winds will turn out of the south for that rain chance this weekend. But let's jump ahead to that second chance for rain. This is going to be the Tuesday after Veterans Day. The reason why we're going to focus on this one now is because this round of rain potentially is going to be a little bit more dynamic than the round that we could see this weekend. And what I mean by that is there's going to be two big air masses at play here. Out ahead of the center of rotation, it's going to be a warm, moist air mass. Back into the 60s, we're going to see plenty of rain. But then back behind that, we watch as cooler air moves in, and that brings down the chance for some of these raindrops to turn over to snowflakes, whether it's all snow or a wintry mix as we go into your Thursday morning. As we move in this more cooler and drier air mass rather quickly. So watch as our temperatures as we go into your Wednesday afternoon climb into those mid 60s underneath mostly cloudy conditions. And then by Thursday morning, we're already into those low 30s. And that's the reason why we could see some of those raindrops turn over to snow. It's also going to be windy as well, because to do all this, you've got to have a lot of winds moving down that cooler air. But for snow lovers, this is some good news. You maybe been waiting on this snow. And for folks who do not want the snow, there's also some good news for you as well. We're back above freezing as we head into your Thursday afternoon, not to mention we really haven't had any prolonged cool air, especially during the overnight hours, so our ground temperatures are above freezing as well. So any snow that we do see, if this forecast verifies next Thursday, will likely melt Thursday, if not later Thursday night into early Friday. And temperatures continue to remain on the warmer than average side, not only over the next 6 to 10 days, but over the next 8 to 14 days as well. This is taking us to about November 20th. And with this warmer air, we also see the chance for more precipitation as well. There was a look at your temperatures for your Thursday. Pretty seasonal, maybe just a couple degrees warmer than average. We're hanging out in those low to mid 50s. I would say we're going to start off more mostly cloudy and then throughout the day become more sunny with more sunshine expected for your Friday. And again, we could wake up to some patchy morning fog Friday. Rain chances move in later Saturday, overnight, and into your Sunday, but we dry out for Veterans Day. And then as we were just kind of discussing there's that second round of not only showers, but maybe even some wintry mix there by next Thursday. And then Friday will be slightly cooler. And then by that following weekend, we're back into the low 50s.
Blaze, thank you. Just ahead, political reporter Will Keneally returns with our election night panel as they reflect on a day that proved to be a day of change for our city, our state, and the nation. That's next.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
We all share the same roads, but when an accident happens, we don't always share the same consequences. Gruber Law Offices has been winning for people injured in truck accidents for more than 35 years. One call, that's all.
You don't need to battle addiction alone. Contact the great people at Wood Violet Recovery today. You could be on your way to recovery the same day. Wood Violet Recovery works with a wide range of insurance networks, so a large portion of your treatment may be covered. Wood Violet Recovery will create the treatment plan that best suits your needs. Unlike other rehab facilities, phones and laptops are welcome. Today may feel dark, but there's a brighter tomorrow. Contact Wood Violet Recovery now.
Get an 11% rebate on everything at Menards. Make cleanups quick and easy with big savings on Libman products. The Freedom Spray Mop has a variety of features to make cleaning your home simple. Just $19.99 after rebate. Duracell batteries provide long-lasting, reliable power that you can depend on. Save big on our large, in-stock selection. Right now, pick up a 24-pack for just $12.98 after 11% rebate.
Save big money at Menards.
I'm so happy. I just put this dress on that I haven't worn in over 10 years.
I just this morning made a new hole in my belt, so that was super exciting.
Why are women everywhere choosing Sonobello, the advanced solution for permanent fat removal?
I saw the results immediately. It's the best I have felt since I was in my 20s.
My waist is tiny. I'm very, very happy.
I'm nearly 50, y'all, and my abs haven't been this flat since before I've had kids.
For a limited time, take advantage of Sonobello's best offer of the year. Sonobello's board-certified surgeons use micro-laser technology to safely target and remove your diet-resistant fat cells for good on your stomach, hips and thighs, back, and so much more.
Check it out. Snatch waist. Loving, loving, loving the results.
It will change your life. It did for me.
Call 1-888-510-6198 now or go to sonobello.com to claim special pricing.
This is a cup of coffee. It's to go. Because here, you're on the move. Our team coordinates all your appointments, so you see all the experts you need quicker. Because when you're facing a complex condition, it feels like time is being taken from you. So, we found a way to give it back. Welcome to East Park Medical Center. UW Health. Remarkable.
We've successfully represented people injured in truck accidents for more than 35 years. We know what it takes to get the results you deserve. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Welcome back to News 3 Now at 5. We're breaking down the results from last night's election. Political reporter Will Keneally here with our political expert Brandon Scholes. We've been talking a little bit about kind of what surprises were happening last night. In Wisconsin, though, a little bit interesting. We saw former President Donald Trump win the state, but we also saw then Tammy Baldwin win that very competitive U.S. Senate race. What do we make of that kind of split ticket, as it were?
As close as this race was, not only in Wisconsin and projected to be, as well as around the country, I don't think anybody anticipated a Trump-Baldwin or a Harris-Hovde kind of ticket mix. It's just something that wasn't going to happen because of how close the race was. I mean, it was split right down the middle. So in the evening last night, it was Trump was winning Wisconsin, and at that time, Hovde was ahead as well. So we kind of left here sometime and said, looks like that's what's going to happen. And then tomorrow in the morning, then we found out that no, that wasn't the case. There were, when they counted those ballots in Milwaukee, there's nothing nefarious about it. I mean, that was what it was. The ballots showed up. So, Baldwin comes up with a 27,000 vote lead. Well, now we have what you just described, a Trump top-a-ticket, Republican, Democrat, Baldwin, on the U.S. Senate. That's not very common. I think it's been decades since Wisconsin has had one of those mixes in there. So, that was unexpected from the sense that we would have that kind of split ticket, and unexpected when we left late in the evening before those votes were counted.
So now in the air right now, because it's such a close margin, is the possibility of a recount. That could be, recounting just Dane and Milwaukee counties, for example, like we saw in 2020. If you were to recommend to the Hovde campaign kind of what they should consider, what would you tell them?
Sure. First of all, there's about 24 questions that you have to go through and answer. Where did those votes come from? So you look for irregularities in Republican and Democrat counties to say, okay, here's votes that showed up that we didn't anticipate. And what's happened here is there was a candidate way down the ballot who got about the same number of votes. And so the speculation is there something tied into that candidate and the votes that you know, Hovde is down by? So they're going to have to look for irregularities. Where can you pick up votes or negate votes? That means you have to check each county. You have to look for something that was in there. How did they drive those people to vote for that candidate? What actually caused it? And when you walk through all those questions, can you then say, can we make up or get rid of 27,000 votes? That's a hard question because, I mean, it takes an enormous amount of work to go through. So it's not just a simple, let's recount, because you have to pay for it when you're at this margin. Yeah. It takes a lot of research to get to that point to advise a candidate, go for it or hold off.
Almost seems like you're trying a challenge of playing football. Almost you have to kind of draw that calculation.
Yeah, it's not just one or two things like, well, what do you think? You know, do you think those votes came? I mean, you're looking for so many different things that occurred in municipalities, in counties. What happened when the vote was cast? Where did it go? Is there something out there that would give you some sense that something is wrong?
Well, Brandon Scholes, you've been with us long into the night last night. Thank you so much for joining us.
You bet.
And we'll be right back after this.
Don't miss the 35th Annual Winter Art Fair Off the Square, November 9th and 10th at the Monona Terrace Convention Center, featuring over 100 Wisconsin exhibitors with a wonderful selection of ceramics, paintings, glass art, wood, jewelry, and much more. Place your bids at our silent auction Saturday only. Children will enjoy the Young Collector's Corner. Buy local for the holidays. The Winter Art Fair Off the Square. Put it on your calendar today.
Are record high energy costs putting a squeeze on your fixed or limited incomes? While you haven't asked for it, the Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund and your local energy assistance providers are here to help. No Wisconsin resident should ever have to face the challenge of living without heat or power or face homelessness. For a hand up, apply today.
Winning at Ho-Chunk Gaming just got bigger, like mega bigger. When you win a hand-paid jackpot at Ho-Chunk Gaming Wisconsin Dells, you're automatically entered into our mega jackpot winners quarterly drawings with a grand prize drawing on January 18th to win a new Jeep Wagoneer car buy and a chance for $100,000 in cash. Jackpot weekly drawings are going on now. Mondays, 10 winners, $500 in rewards play. Ho-Chunk Gaming Wisconsin Dells. Your odds are better here.
Today, our retirement savings account is safe because we made the switch. We had Medicare Advantage, but we'd seen too many friends give up the things they love due to unexpected medical expenses. They thought their plan was good enough, but it didn't help when they needed it most. We found a better way with a Medicare Supplement Insurance Plan from WPS. No worries, no hassles, no networks. Our time and our money are better spent here.
After careful review of medical guidance and research on pain relief, my recommendation is simple. Every home should have Salon Paws. Powerful, yet non-addictive. Targeted and long-lasting. I recommend Salon Paws. It's good medicine.
Come celebrate the season with Baraboo Furniture and Mattresses store-wide fall kickoff sale. Every department is on sale. Save an additional 25% off the lowest marked sales price on Smith Brothers and England living room sets. Save an additional 30% off Flex Steel furniture, 25% off Amish furniture. Every department is on sale in our beautiful showroom, including Ashley, reclining furniture, spring air mattresses, and much more. Hurry in today to the huge store-wide fall kickoff sale at Baraboo Furniture and Mattress, where your satisfaction is our guarantee.
Experience the Channel 3000 News app today. Tailored for your news the way you want it. With a customizable home page and faster page loads. Download the Channel 3000 News app. Powered by News 3 Now.
Coming up tonight on the CBS Evening News, Donald Trump becomes the 47th president-elect in a sweeping victory. How he did it, plus Vice President Kamala Harris's concession speech and the message to Trump. That's tonight on the CBS Evening News.
Well, when 80-year-old Norman LaDuke died, among the things he left his son was his book collection, and it is a huge one. We're talking about 40,000 books. I don't know if that's good or bad.
Right,
That's a lot of stuff. But now LeDuc's brother is trying to find all those books a new home. His brother Michael has already donated 10,000 books. That's a good cause. The rest he is selling out of his apartment. It's open 4 days a week. Wow. That bookstore/apartment is in Montreal, Canada. Let's go to Blaze for one final check of the forecast.
Yeah, we're going to be quiet tonight, seasonal, with mostly cloudy to partly cloudy conditions, and we'll chip away at the cloud cover throughout your Thursday, leaving us with more sunshine to end the work week, maybe some morning fog there on Friday. Rain showers move in later Saturday, stick with us through Sunday, but we do dry out and remain in those mid-50s for Veterans Day with more rain by that following Wednesday.
All right, Blaze, thank you. And of course, we'll be back in 30 minutes for more local stories on News 3 Now at 6. Stay tuned now for the CBS Evening News.